This year, Kodiak Multi-Missions has been really hard at work in developing new systems for our Kodiak aircraft, from the 100 to the 900. The Kodiak 900 and 100 are really built for the mission. You have Kodiak 100 on floats, which are used by Fish and Game agencies or Department of Natural Resources. You have the Kodiak 100, which is very prevalent in the air ambulance market, in the fire market, and in the surveillance market for forest health. This year, Kodiak's focusing on the law enforcement aspect of the market. And we've developed this year a strut mount that can hold up to a 15-inch class sensor. So recently we had an opportunity to use that system with a console and monitors and a FLIR. And while doing the demo, the agency received an urgent call and asked us if we would participate in that call. We responded to the call with our sensor and the officer on board, and within 52 seconds, we had the suspect vehicle in sight, and we tracked that vehicle for 20 minutes, which concluded in a felony arrest. In the middle of this operation, the helicopter had to depart and go refuel. We were able to maintain persistent surveillance in the absence of the helicopter throughout the chase. And it provided a perspective for the department that the two together are better than just the one asset, which was a real eye-opener for that department. So fixed-wing assets typically can stay airborne longer. With the Kodiak, you can stay airborne in the configuration that they operate in the area of about 7 to 8 hours, and sometimes up to 9.5 hours if you're flying the Kodiak 100. So it gave them a new perspective on how to provide surveillance for their community. After the first successful apprehension, we were able to land and debrief on what the situation looked like from their perspective, which was pretty eye-opening. And they asked us to go on a follow-on mission. The crew that we had in the airplane went to the helicopter to start their shift and asked us to participate. Immediately, they were in pursuit of a felony vehicle, and they asked for our assistance. In the middle of that pursuit, the Kodiak provided, again, persistent surveillance while the helicopter went and refueled. What was also notable is that helicopters operate in a lower altitude environment in around busy metro areas. They have to coordinate with air traffic agencies, and it makes it very cumbersome to communicate with law enforcement and the air traffic to deconflict. With the Kodiak, we were at altitudes between 7,000 and 10,000 feet, and we're able to provide the same visual assistance on the ground from those altitudes without talking to the agency as much, which gave us a lot more freedom and also gave us access to areas that the helicopter was not able to go into because of approach corridors to international airports. We provided assistance for 30 minutes to another arrest. The debrief also shown that we were able to provide this persistent surveillance much more than a helicopter, and stated that fixed-wing assets routinely provide about 60 to 70% more arrests than a helicopter alone. The Kodiak can actually perform in a very small area of probability on top of the helicopter, which is very unique to the Kodiak because its turn rate and radius is very tight. It can fly very slow at stable speeds of about 85 to 110 knots. We found that 110 knots is about the perfect speed with 10 degrees of flaps, and it provides a very stable platform for the tactical flight officer to operate the camera. So together, the Kodiak and a helicopter are an extremely useful asset in providing public safety. The Kodiak operationally is a very effective airplane. Cost-wise, it's also very effective. Helicopters are very expensive. Their cost per hour is much higher than a Kodiak. If you're looking at the Kodiak series of aircraft, you're looking at about $400 an hour for both aircraft average, which includes fuel. And if you're looking at aircraft for Part 91, it could be less than $100 an hour if you acquire our maintenance package. So it's a very cost-effective aircraft and much less maintenance intensive. The Kodiak's always been a multi-mission aircraft that started out as a missionary aircraft. As of 4 years ago, we started really focusing on public safety and fire and law enforcement. We have increased our share in production now to about 50%. and we're really gaining a lot of traction in the law enforcement market. We're starting to integrate various systems, from camera systems to radio systems to consoles to monitor the surveillance systems. Next year, we are probably going to increase our share from about 50% of production to about 60% of production, and hopefully in the future we can be up to about 75% of our production. We're looking to support the DoD market, we're looking to support the state and local market, and we're also looking to support private markets that use LiDARs and FLIRs for forest health or crop health. It's a varied market, and it's gaining a lot of momentum. The split between Kodiaks is about 50-50, 100s and 900s into the multi-mission market. There is no plan to decrease the sales of the 100 or the 900. They're both very viable multi-mission aircraft with very specific purposes. So you can see the Kodiak and 900 going forward into the multi-mission world into the future.